I got centre.
See you later.
No, I'm staying here.
Not anymore.
Go on, you're in the
Guys,
centre.
guys. Welcome to the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Okay, we need to prepare the tribunal. Everyone, line up. Okay, we're having a race. When I say go, go! Yes, I won.
What's the point?
There is every point. I won, that's the point. Okay, so I won. I get to be president. These two have to have a race to decide who gets to represent BEW, who gets to represent the Indian government, okay? Loser gets the government. On your marks, get set.
Go.
Go! Ah! Well done, Peter! You snooze, you lose, Indira!
This is such a stupid system. I mean, come on. I'm rubbish on the space hopper.
Yep.
The government always loses. Well, can't we just take turns in being the president?
No!
Yeah, I've had enough of all this. It's so unfair. Idiots.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, I won. That means I
Great.
am president. Thank you. Peter is representing BEW in this Orissa water dispute. Indira is representing the Indian government. Okay, the rules are: 1, I'm in charge. 2, only those on a space hopper get to play. Rule 3, only 3 space hoppers are allowed. Rule 4, new rules can only be introduced by best of 3 coin toss. Okay, best of 3 coin toss. Indira, when you finish sulking, you can start us off.
Okay, I'm going to start by objecting to this president because he works for BEW at his law firm. He won't like this. Mr. President, the state of India object to you because you work for BEW in the past and may do so in the future. This is a clear conflict of interest in the public view.
Objection. The public doesn't know anything about this process.
Well, let's ask them.
Objection. The rules clearly state only 3 space hoppers are allowed in here, and only those with space hoppers are allowed to speak.
Objection sustained. I will move to a finding. Thank you. I have considered the issues and I have moved to a finding. I find there is no real conflict of interest, although the public may think that there is. Conflicts of interest are not uncommon in arbitration hearings. They're not irregular. I have acted in such an apparent conflict before. It was fine. Indira, off the record, I did not enjoy that. I hope that is the end of this behavior.
Okay, here is the big one. I am going to object to this hearing because I think that this should be dealt in an Indian court. Alphonse won't like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. We object to this tribunal ab initio. It has no jurisdiction here. The water infrastructure contract granted to BEW clearly states that Indian law is the applicable law, and we don't have a treaty with the UK that triggers international arbitration here in Washington. This is an illegitimate forum.
Peter, she makes a good point. Do you have anything to say on this matter?
Sorry, what?
Peter, you need to take this seriously. She's making you look bad.
Relax, Al. It's fine. She can't win. It is true, the contract we signed does state Indian law applies, but we didn't like that, so we moved 3 of our companies to Holland. And this means we are Dutch, not British. And this means the Indo-Dutch bilateral investment treaty applies, and this means we can have an arbitration hearing in Washington to make the Indian government compensate us for the $100 million we lost in Orissa.
Indira?
That is such rubbish. BEW is one of Britain's foremost corporate giants, with its headquarters in London, a royal charter and 100% British senior management. I mean, the companies you moved don't have any Dutch employees or any real connection to Holland. It is a scam.
Our lawyers are Dutch.
Not enough. Even the Dutch government says you're not Dutch.
BEW had no obligation to tell you about its changing group structure. The Dutch government are unreliable. I wouldn't trust them.
Before we move to summing up, I would like the tribunal to hear what the public think of this. So I am offering up my space hopper.
Yeah.
Objection! This is making a mockery of this tribunal process. The public are already represented by the Indian government.
No, they are not.
What does your client think of your newfound enthusiasm for public access?
I'm not sure, but it doesn't have the space hopper. I have it. And I think it would be better for this tribunal to hear what the public think about BEW and this tribunal's behaviour. So, anyone want to go? Come on, and give us their view on corporate groups, not only limiting liability, but also changing nationality to enhance their race.
Stop it!
Who wants to go? Come on,
Indira, you will refrain from this, thank you. You will refrain. You will just sum up your argument, please.
Lying, devious, manipulative, immoral, devious bastards.
Thank you, that's very clear. Peter, make this good, Peter.
We Netherlands. We're Dutch.
That's it, is it?
We Netherlands.
Fine, good. Okay, so I will now consider these issues. Thank you. Woo! The tribunal has considered the issues. We have found that Indira, you have acted aggressively against the jurisdiction of this tribunal. As a consequence, we are aware that questions have been raised outside this room as to the integrity of the tribunal's process. This does not make us happy. It does not make your client happy. BEW is Dutch and can avail of the treaty. Thank you. You want to eat somewhere? Yellow? Yeah, I have the letter. I didn't think it was... Okay, yeah, I understand. Okay, bye. Sorry. I have decided to allow a written third-party submission from Amnesty International to be read out loud to the tribunal. Thank you. I will briefly sum it up. The tribunal should not lose sight of the underlying deprivations caused to the population of Orissa by the failure of the water management project. An award of compensation against the Indian state will only reward BEW for violations of human rights and make matters worse for the most vulnerable within that state, as nothing will then be done to improve access to water. Access to water is a basic human right. Okay. Good. Peter, you want to open up on the main issue?
Delighted. BEW owned the rights to manage and collect water in Orissa, and the Indian government cancelled the contract after a year, confiscated our property and deported our senior management, despite our attempts to fix things. We want $100 million in compensation.
That's a ridiculous and an obscene claim. You dammed the rivers, shut the wells, overcharged for water. People were thirsty and starving. Some died. Riots ensued. I mean, to declare a state of emergency. Water, access to water is a basic human right, which BEW abused, and your people were deported for their own safety.
That's irrelevant and you know it. Water is a commodity like any other.
No, it's not. Your greed and deceit has brought this on yourselves. Besides, what has this got to do with BEW UK? Isn't the point of creating 100 different companies all over the world between you and BEW India to ensure that you are not responsible for its actions?
For liability and taxation issues, you are correct. BEW UK is separate, but not when the issue is BEW India's assets being destroyed. We want $100 million to compensate.
Okay then, well let's see what the public thinks. I'm offering up my space.
Not again! Indira, sit down, sit down. Take this seriously. Sit down, please. I'm the space hopper. Peter, sum up.
Stop.
Stop.
Are you happy? Are you enjoying this too much? Yeah? It's just too much fun.
I'm sorry, the tribunal is in process here.
Sorry?
It looks like a farce. I can't take this seriously.
Okay, well, if you want to change something, you know what to do.
You don't have a space hopper. You must have a space hopper to... Peter, will you please sum up? Thank you. Yeah.
No, I am not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. You can't stop me. Reading a submission isn't the same as gaining public access. You need to hear the views of the affected community. If you are to come to an informed decision, come on, Alphonse, let them in as well.
If you continue like this, I will take away your space hopper, and then your precious public will have no advocate at all. Last chance.
I agree.
Sit.
She's turning this tribunal into a circus.
Yeah. If you continue like this, sit down. If you continue, I've been very tolerant of this experiment because of the media interest in this case, but I'm running out of patience now. Peter, please, continue.
Yes, thank you.
Sum up, please.
Breach of contract, theft and harassment. Treaty is clear. We want $100 million. Violations of human rights and vulnerability are irrelevant to arbitration unless they form part of the investment treaty, which in this case, they do not.
Thank you. Indira.
Stop. You need to stop.